Welcome back to Kandu Workshop. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Kandu Workshop load inserts for the HS Stonie hoppers. This here is a completed one that I've already done, and this here is a fresh print that still needs some extra texture added. And here I'll just show you how they fit into the HS Stonie hoppers. You can glue these in if you want them in there permanently. However, I find that being able to remove them can be quite handy in the future if you ever need a change or want to run an empty train. So this is how they come. The colour over time can change depending on what I'm printing with at the time, but this shouldn't affect the final product. They come in a bundle of 6. Each one of them is slightly different to the other, so they don't look too similar between each carriage. This here is one of the freshly printed ones. They're hollow on the bottom, so they are very lightweight, only weighing about 4 to 5 grams each. And we'll run through what needs to be done with them. First thing to do is just to trim off the corners. There are little tags on there that help with printing. Stops them curling up in the corners. Once you've removed these, the next thing you need to do is a quick test fit in your hopper to make sure they fit before we go too much further. So here I'm just test fitting it in this hopper that I'll be building next, and this one's a little bit too long to fit in there. You could force it in there, but I like to be able to remove them easily, so I'm just going to trim the end off a little bit with a hobby knife. It doesn't take much to make them fit nice. Now you can see now it drops in there rather nicely. Now this here is one of the Kandu Workshop HS hopper bodies, and it fits rather nicely in there. So next we'll get prepared to start putting some extra texture on. I like to add on this ballast that I've got. This is just I believe it's a Chuck's ballast medium grade. Ideally it should have a white type of stone for the Stonie hoppers, however this is all I have on hand, so I'm just going to add the texture with this ballast and then paint it afterwards. These holes in the bottom, you can just use a skewer or something similar to this to hold them so you don't get glue everywhere. To stop it spinning, use a couple skewers, something like this, and you can control it fairly well, and it doesn't spin around on you. So the first thing we'll do is paint the surface with some PVA glue. So this is straight out the bottle, not watered down or anything. So this just helps the first layer of ballast stick down and not slide off the edges, because it's obviously not a very flat surface. We'll just speed this up a bit here. Once you have the surface fairly evenly coated, I like to use a second container to catch any spillages or any excess ballast that slides off. The first method I'm going to show is just coating it with, dusting it with a fine sieve and gently covering the whole surface with the ballast. We'll just speed this up again to save some time. So once you've coated the surface, have a good look around and make sure you're happy with it. These faces to the right here I'm not very happy with, so I'm going to sit it on a bit of an angle so I can apply some more ballast and hopefully it'll hit that face a bit better. Once we have that done, we need to do another coat of glue to lock down that ballast so it doesn't get knocked off so easy. Here I'm just spraying it with some isopropyl alcohol. This will help the watered down PVA glue to soak in a bit better and give us an even coverage. So this is a fairly watered down PVA mixture. It's about 50-50 with a drop of dish soap in there to help disperse the glue throughout the ballast without clumping. As you can see here, just start on the high spots and it'll run down. So we'll go over the whole thing. This helps to keep the ballast stuck to the surface, but the previous layer of PVA was just to help keep it there for this process. If you want, you can reapply another coating of ballast on top of this if you are not happy with the coverage or you want to just add more texture. That depends on what you're after and how the first layer's gone. Some of the detail sort of gets lost with the glue, so another light coating, as I'm doing here, helps just keep some texture on the surface. I'll show another method now. This one works just as well. I find that it gives a slightly coarser detail in the ballast. So basically the first step's the same, just cover it in PVA glue to help the ballast stick to the surface. Once it's all coated, we're just going to drop it into the ballast like this. Moving it around a bit helps to get all the faces evenly covered. And then once you've done that, it's just a matter of cleaning off the edges so that it fits in. And the same as before, just give it a light misting with some isopropyl alcohol and cover it with the watered down PVA glue. And once this is dried, you can leave it overnight or a couple of days, and then if you need to, you can paint it using spray gun is probably preferred, or an airbrush. You could potentially brush it on. I haven't tried this, so if you do give it a go, please let me know how it goes. And that's pretty much it. Here's an image of the completed ones that we've just done and the previous one. The one up the back was using the sieve, and you can see that it does give a finer finish. The middle one is with the dunking it method. It's a little bit coarser, but that does suit some applications. And the one towards the front was done with the sifting method and then airbrushed white to make it look more like the Stonie hopper loads. Once completed, they only weigh about 8 or 9 grams, so they're quite light, which is what you want, seeing as they are high up in the hoppers, so you don't want them being top heavy. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and like the video if you did find it helpful. I do have some more videos coming out. I have a few more products coming up. Also check us out on Facebook. I have the Kandu Workshop main page. I also have Kandu Workshop Lounge, which is just for some general discussion and other things happening in the hobby. And please do check out the online store. And thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.